This video was published by MBKP International. In this video we're going to talk about our Guillotine EC19 PRO electric paper cutter and how to adjust or replace some laser pointers if your laser pointer is not working correctly. I'm going to plug it in real quick here and show you. Right here you'll see the laser line, the red laser line on there, that the laser pointers, there's two laser pointers up here. One will do this half and the other will do that half. If your line's completely missing, that'd be a problem, or if just one side is missing, then it'd just probably be one laser pointer that's the problem. But first thing you want to do is you want to unplug your machine. Okay, make sure it's unplugged from any power. Next thing you want to do is you want to remove this top cover, and to do that you need to remove the side screws here. You got two there, and those are going to be Phillips screws, and you got two on the other side. Once you do that, you want to come around back, because you got to take this there's a lip on this cover that this shield is on. So basically there's a Phillips screw there you want to remove, and another one there you want to remove. I did all this to make this quicker already. And then you just need to loosen these slightly, which I already did. And then once you do that, you can just move these to the side a little bit, and then slide the shield back about 2 inches, just so it clears this lip here. And from there you can take your cover off. Now there's a couple different ways. There's a wire connected to the back of this main display. Now, if you purchased your machine August of 2015 to present, then all you have to do is lift this up and place your shield back here, like so. Okay. But if you purchased your machine before August of 2015, you're going to have to unplug the wire that's connected to the back of this thing. And to do that, first thing you want to do is you want to get somebody to lift this up for you. Since I don't have to do it on this one, it's only on the older machines, I don't need a second person to help me, but you'd have somebody lift this up approximately like 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches, and hold it there for you. Again, with the paper cutter unplugged, and I'm going to rest it here just so I can, like that, so I can do it with two hands. You'd have somebody hold it up here about 5 or 6 inches up, and you'd reach up behind here. You're not going to be able to see it in this video, but you reach up behind the back of this and you'll find a wire. The wire is going to be this here, and it's going to be a plug on the end of it, and it's going to be plugged into the back of this, and you just reach up there and you unplug it. Once you unplug it, then you can take this and sit it anywhere you want to sit it. Okay. Again, the wire is on the back of this, and one person holds it up, you reach in behind there and just unplug the wire. Okay? And once you get this out of the way, you're gonna plug this in to check your laser pointers, but make sure you do not do anything but look at this. Don't push any buttons, anything, because you got this pulley belt for the clamp. You don't want to get your fingers in anything like this, or don't get around this blade. That blade's obviously sharp. You don't want to do any cutting or anything at all. You just want to plug it in so you can see the laser pointers. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and plug the machine in. And now you can see the laser pointers here. And basically what I want to do, if you got one side out or both out, first thing you do is just check them. Get a piece of paper and just slide it under them at the top of them here, and just make sure see if they're working or not. You can see that one's working and that one's working as well. The reason I do this because there's actually just a thin space, about 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters thick, between this blade clamp, or between this blade holder here and the clamp back here. And the laser shines right between those. If this laser gets off a little bit, it won't show up down here. Like, I can even push it and you can move the line, see it move. If I push it too far, it disappears. See, so if it comes on, both of them, it's just an adjustment. And to do that, you'd loosen these, just lightly loosen them, because it takes very little movements on this thing. Sometimes you can even just push and bend it to the right place. And this would be the same thing if your laser line's if one's off like that. See how they're kind of, one's on and one's off. You can just come in here and kind of, pull on it, bend it a little bit to where they're both lined up. Sometimes you don't even need to loosen that to adjust it, because once you do that, these things start moving and they can get way out of whack. Okay, we're going to talk about if you have just one side out and you checked it and it's definitely not lighting up, because if they are lighting up, it's just an adjustment issue. If one side is lighting up and the other side is not, The side that's not lining up, you want to check the wires going to it. There's two wires here. This one obviously, you know, goes from there to there, and you got this one from here. It's going to come. Just find which one is coming from the one that's not working, and just follow these down. Make sure they're still zip tied and nice, and everything's nice and close here, and they're not all hanging up or one's cut or broken. Just make sure, you know, you can tug on these lightly. Make sure nothing's going to pull out. Wiggle them a little bit, see if the light flickers on and off. You can watch it or watch it down here, see if it flickers when you, because it could just be a loose connection in these wires or a broken wire. Look for a cut, broken wire, anything like that, or a loose wire. Wiggle them, see if this light flickers. If it doesn't flicker, it doesn't look like there's any loose or broken wires, then you're probably going to have to replace the, say this one's bad here, it's not lighting up, and I wiggle the wires, doesn't flicker or come on again or nothing. You're probably going to have to replace this, and obviously, you know, you got two screws holding it in place. You take those off, and to make it a little easier, you could put the blade in the down position by just holding the cut button. I'll do this now, and I'll stay completely away from it. Hold the cut buttons down. Once it gets down there, you can just let go of the cut buttons, and then you got a lot more room here to replace it if you need it to. Okay, you'd remove it, and basically they're tied together. They're both tied together to two wires here. So if you had to replace this, you'd probably take it out and find the one you have. For instance, this one would be right here. And what I'd probably do is I'd probably cut the wires right here, and then you can attach the new one. That'd be the easiest way to do it with some screw things we'd send you if we had to send you the part to replace it. And you just cut these two wires on this one right here, and then you just reattach the new wires when they come, you know, red to red, black to black, put it back into place. Pretty simple if you had to replace one. Okay, now if they're not working at all, that's a completely different. If neither side is working, then it's very, very unlikely both of them went out at the same time. So it's probably not an issue with the laser pointers, but it's probably an issue with where it's connected. And if that's the case, you're going to have to remove this electronics compartment cover. And with this removed, sometimes you can just pull on this and they'll pop free, pull forward, but a lot of them are pretty tight, so you want to get a flat screwdriver. And if you can look over here between this and the edge of here, you can look down on it a little bit, you can see it. I'll put the screwdriver in there. Between that, you can just put the screwdriver in there. Okay, back up, and when it's in there, you can just twist the screwdriver, and you'll see it come free from the thing. It'll just pop free right there. And you can do it on the other side. Just twist the screwdriver, and you can pull back on it a little bit too if you need to get it completely free. Once it's a little bit loose, you can usually get it, you know. Some of them are pretty tight, like this one, for example, is a pretty tight one, but it came completely free. Okay, again, this is only if both of them are not working. You would look in here, and basically you're looking for the wire on the main board. You may want to unplug it. You do want to unplug it if you get into this electronics compartment. And the third one over on the front, this one here, it'll be blue. It'll be with blue tape on it. That's the one for your laser pointers. If you unplug that, the laser pointers will not work. So look at this one, make sure it's plugged in correctly. Make sure not one of these wires is coming out of the plastic plug. Make sure they're both in there good, and make sure it's just attached to the board good, because that's your plug for your laser pointers. Okay, just make sure it's attached good. Make sure one of these two wires, the red or black, is not like one of them's coming out of the plug, got loose or something, or this plug's halfway on or something of that nature. Just make sure your plug's plugged in good. If it is plugged in good and your laser pointers still don't come on, there's a very good chance it's this main board and it needs to be replaced. Okay, so that's basically it on if neither one working, because if neither one's working, it's very unlikely both of them are out. You could also check the wires going from here, where these two connect to the two wires by themselves, all the way down to make sure they're not broken or cut or anything like that, because it could be that as well. So you'd want to check your wiring too on these, make sure a wire didn't get cut or broken on the way to the board. But that's basically it. You just want to be very careful when you're in the electronics compartment. You don't want to have it powered on. And when you remove this, again, if you purchased your cutter August 2015 to present, then you can just pull it up just enough to get past this and then set it back behind the cutter. If you purchased before August 2015, you do need to have someone lift it up, reach up in there and unplug this well, that's not the one actually, because it's still in there. It's a little bit wider. It's this one right here that goes to the board. It's about that wide, and you do need to unplug it from the back of this before, and then remove it. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helps you if you have a problem with your laser pointers. This video was published by MBKP International.